Part two, how to get through Thanksgiving without drinking. I'm still kind of like blown away that I did that. Um, so I'm riffing on that more today to share with you just more of my journey and more of how, the things I think that I did that made it possible this time to get through an urge to drink that was pretty strong. Like, I've had in the year since I've quit drinking, I've had the urges come up. Not a ton, to be honest, but I have had the like, oh man, I really miss this, or wouldn't it be nice, or but they haven't been too unbearable. Thanksgiving, the urge was pretty strong, but I still got through it with ease. And so that's what I want to share with you because I really think these things can apply to any habit you're trying to break. Whatever it is that has been something that's been, a really important part of your life, whatever habit you have used in the past that has made you feel good in the moment, but it's just creating negative outcomes in your life. And you just want to quit. If it's overeating, if it's overspending, if it's gambling, if it's, compulsively shopping, if it's pornography, whatever it is, when that thing that you might even say you're addicted to. For me, drinking was something that I've just had an on and off relationship with pretty much my whole life. Like ever since I was, 12. So, it's definitely been a part of my brain chemistry. Like we use alcohol to socialize. We use it to calm down. We use it to numb. We use it to not feel pain. We use it to be more outgoing. We use it to feel more sexy. We use it, alcohol was really something that my brain believed was highly beneficial to my well-being. And so the process of like untangling that relationship, I talked last time about the muscle of allowance and using allowance when an urge comes up to ride out the urge and to not engage with the urge and create a lot of drama around the urge and make the urge bigger than it is, to just let it be there. Let the gremlin be there. Don't make it a problem. Don't make it mean anything. It's just there. It's just what the brain does. That's really powerful. But another factor that I think is key in how I was finally able to just make the decision to release alcohol from my life and let it go was spending more time in all of the benefits. So oftentimes, we quit something because we're like, this thing is hurting me. This thing is like really bad for me. I shouldn't be doing this. I know it's killing me. I know it's destroying my life. I shouldn't. I shouldn't. And you feel bad and you feel guilty and you feel angry at yourself and you feel frustrated and we quit from that space, and it can work for a while, but pretty soon, after you've quit, you kind of stop feeling all the negative consequences, and then your brain forgets what a problem it was. Your brain is like, was it really that bad? Like, yeah, I had hangovers, but I seemed to get through them fine. Like, it wasn't really that bad. It's like, like if you've given birth, like about not too long after birth, it doesn't feel as painful. Maybe this was just me, but like you look back and in the moment you're like, oh my God, this is the most pain I've ever been in. I'm going to die. But then, like a week or two later, you have this like pain amnesia. And that's the only way we have more children, right? Because our brains are like, it wasn't really that bad. You got a baby out of it. Anyways, that's what the brain has done for me when I have tried to quit things just because of the negative consequences. Your brain quickly talks, it just helps you forget like how much pain you were in, because it's convinced, that it actually was more of a benefit for you than it was, right? So I spent a lot of time imagining, fantasizing, and really like playing up the amazing benefits of being sober. Like I spent time like, I had sober people who had a sober life in my news feed, and I would, they would post about, how healthy they felt and how amazing it was to be clear-headed, and how good it felt to wake up without a hangover, and how the relationships deepened and sex gets better because you can feel things, right? Um, and I just spent so much time fantasizing, like drooling over the sober life. Like, oh, your skin gets clear, and your all of your body chemistry like heals, and your stomach gets better, and your body restores itself, and your liver cleanses itself, and waking up with like a clear head, and what is it like to get up early on a Saturday and like have energy to do things and like feel good and not feel like the only thing I can do is eat like greasy potatoes and lay in front of the television. So like I spent a ton of time focusing on all of the benefits, and putting myself in how good it was going to feel to be someone who didn't drink anymore. And that really helps, because in those moments of when the urge comes up, my hair is just like everywhere. In those moments when the urge is strong, while allowing the urge on Thanksgiving, while just being like, that's interesting. That urge is just really powerful. Like, it's funny. It's here. Not surprised. It's here. I was also able to pull from, but all the reasons I don't drink are so compelling. Like, I really don't want to wake up with a hangover again. I really don't want to go down this path again. It feels so good to be sober. Like, look at all the progress I've made in my business since I quit. Look at how much deeper my relationships are now that I'm fully present. Look at how much more peace I have on the inside, because I'm not in this constant guilt, shame, should I quit? Can I quit? I need to quit cycle. I just made the decision, and the decision was made, and it just like that whole conversation just left my mind. It was like I didn't even have to think about it anymore because I made a decision, right? Like, thinking about all of the gains is another way to trick your brain. Maybe not so much trick your brain, but like assist your brain in not giving in to the urge when the urge comes, because the urges are going to come no matter what you're quitting. No matter what you're quitting. I mean, I quit smoking 6-7 years ago now. That was like the beginning of this journey for me, was like learning how to quit smoking by changing my identity as to being someone who's a non-smoker, and like how easy that was when I changed my identity. I wasn't just able to stop smoking. I stopped wanting to smoke. I stopped having like the urge to smoke, which was amazing. But still, like 7 years later, occasionally something will happen and I'll be like, oh, a cigarette would be really nice right now. Have you noticed how like lately I don't know if this is lately or if it's always been here, but there's so much smoking on television. Maybe it's just the shows I watch. I watch crime shows all the time, and someone's always smoking. But seeing that image is like, my brain's like, ooh, that looks kind of good. Don't you miss that? Don't you want to try that again? Right? So why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because even if you've quit something and you have years under your belt, you can expect at times that old pattern, that old habit, that old urge, that gremlin is going to pop back up and be like, hey, remember me? We used to have a good time, remember? It's going to happen. So preparing yourself, being, giving yourself the armor that you need for when those urges come up is really important. Building that muscle of allowance that I talked about the other day. Building that non-resistance, that what I call it, a triatoid. I think I called it that in my email, a triatoid, except the acceptance allowance. Awareness. That was the other one. Clever me coming up with that. Can't even remember what it was. Allowing, accepting, and being aware. Triatoid. That's a muscle you can build to help yourself through the urges when they come. Another way you can help yourself out is to spend so much time, so much of your brain space enjoying all the benefits of not having that thing run your life, even before you've actually enjoyed the benefits. If it's overeating, spend so much time in your mind fantasizing, living in, being in the you that no longer overeats. Like imagining how your body's going to feel and what it's going to feel like for your pants to fit and how it's going to feel to wake up and look in the mirror and not be bloated from like too much salt. Like really, really letting your brain connect how much positivity, how much benefit is going to come when you're not engaging in this unwanted behavior. Imagining your bank account when you've been able to pay off your debt and you're not compulsively spending. Imagining the dignity that you feel when you like wake up the next day and you didn't give in, or even in that moment. Like, I'm just really getting in touch with all of the gains. And it just helps enforce, it helps, there's a word I'm looking for that I'm losing right now, but it just helps, I'm not going to let it go because words, it's fortitude. It helps fortify, that's the word, fortify your brain so that when the urge comes, you have something to stand on. Like for me, Thanksgiving Day, I'm standing at the sink, I'm allowing the urge, and I'm telling myself like, oh, but don't you really want to wake up? It's going to feel so good to wake up sober. Just breathe. It's going to feel so good. You're going to be so glad tomorrow. You're going to be so happy tomorrow when you didn't cave. You don't have to have that conversation with everybody around you and be like, well, I gave in. Like I get to like have this conversation where I'm like, here's what it's like to not give in. So really, really focusing on trying to spend more time in the gains than you do in the losses, because giving something up is going to feel like a deprivation if you allow it. Your brain is going to feel like it's missing something, or it's being left out, or everybody else gets to do this thing and you don't get to. So it's really important to have fortified all of the reasons that it is in your best interest. It's going to serve your highest self to not do the thing. My number one compelling reason to ending my relationship with alcohol was that I want to build this phenomenal business and life where I get to serve people and make more money than I've ever made before and do work that really impacts the world and makes a difference. And I get to do something that I love and that plays on all my gifts and all my passions. And I get to love people. I get to love people as my job. I mean, that is so worth it to me to have these temporary, momentary, times of discomfort, and I'm like, I could have a glass of wine. I could have my dream job. Can't have both. Because when I'm drinking, I am not my best self, and I am not able to take clients in the evening, and I'm not able to think about my clients in the in my off times because I'm numb. So anyways, that's my story. Whatever your story is, whatever you stand to gain from quitting this thing, have a really good picture of that so that when it doesn't feel like you're giving up something when you quit the thing. It feels like you're saying yes and you're gaining something. That's the key. Like, right? Like, instead of having your brain focus on this thing that you're giving up that you just really don't want to go without and you're really going to miss, don't think of it as giving something up. Think of it as look at all of this amazing stuff I'm going to gain. Look at all this stuff I get. Look at all the things that I get when this thing's no longer like, a big part of my life. I spent a lot of time in the gains, and I know that helped me ride out the urge. And I know it's going to continue to help me ride out the urge. So write it down, envision it, spend time daily, like visualizing what it's going to be like, all the good things that are going to come into your life, that you're going to receive when this one thing that your brain is so, in love with, it's nothing compared to all of the things that are waiting for you or will be available to you when you let this one thing go. So that's my second tip. I don't have a fancy name for it, but just focus on the gains. Know ahead of time how amazing your life is going to be without this thing that is causing you so much pain. That will help you in the moments. For more information, more help, schedule a consult with me. This is the work I do. I can help you build your muscle, build your triatoid. I can help you create the vision of your life without this thing. I can support you through it. Set up a consultation. We can talk about what it would look like to work together. I would love to help you through this. I'm living the best years of my life right now, and largely because I was able to give up alcohol, which is nothing short of a miracle. So I love it. I'm free. I want freedom for you. I want you to experience the joy of not having something run your life, of you being fully in charge of your own life, fully empowered, fully in charge of your urges and your, the things. So anyways, love to you. Have a great holiday season. You can email me. I will, you know how to find me, I hope. If not, just go to my website, RebeccaStarkCoaching.com. And I hope this helps. Love to you all.